Good morning and welcome, Patriot News Hour. Joe and Jason, happy Friday. Hope it finds you well out there. We got a monsoon. It actually rained here in the Valley of the Sun. It'll do that from time to time in July. That's usually what we call monsoon season. It used to be, like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, like clockwork, right at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, downpour for 20 minutes, and then it'll all go away. But not anymore. Now we got, they call it the heat island. It's, there's cement everywhere. But yeah, it was a pretty good one. I don't know if you guys have the same thing. The phones now, they got to send you these alerts, right? You got to be, flash flood warning. Woke me up, sound asleep, and then my phone starts going nuts. It's really annoying. So, but, they got to keep you safe. Like, we don't know that. Yeah. Anyway, at least it rained, right? 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. AllAmericanGold.com is the website. Of course, what do we do here? Gold and silver, the physical delivery of it. And we also mess around a little bit in some cryptos. So we got Iskander, which is, the sister. I don't know, is it a sister or brother? I'm not really sure. Probably, we'll go with the brother of Texas Coin. And of course, Orem as well. So get in. We'll keep you updated. And here's the cool part. We help you along with both of them, both projects. We kind of are like our own built-in support system, and it's pretty fun. A couple of announcements on the Texas Iskander side. You probably noticed the last couple of days the mine is producing at a lower level. We are in the midst of a major upgrade. We've got all these miners in now. We're adding a couple of features to every one of the storage containers and also the mine site in Mansfield as well. And those should be done. I hate putting times on it, but let's just say this weekend. Next week, you are going to see the major jump in power. Of course, that doesn't mean more coins. Next week, the coin output will be right back to normal. But not only are we going to be operating at a higher level as far as the size of the mine, the power of the mine, our ability to mint Lite and Dogecoin, we're actually going to improve the efficiency of the mines. And, that's important. Each one of those containers, it's a $35,000 electric bill. You can make that thing 5 or 10% more efficient, right? Those are big savings. So that's what we're in the midst of there. So if you notice that, that is the reason behind it. We decided, while we're doing this, let's just get this all done at once. And that's what they are working on as we speak. Secondly, if you are, I'll get it out here. You probably got an email, or you may be getting an email because they got to email them out in batches. The Blockchain Mint app is getting a major upgrade. They're just letting you know that your coins may disappear from the Blockchain Mint app. If they do, just re-enter your coins into the app. We're trying to prevent it, but it looks like it's probably going to wipe them out. But it will be greatly improved. I know a bunch of us, all of us really, we're waiting on the new wallets. The Android users, right? They've some of them lost the wallets, and there's nothing in the App Store. I promise you guys, that is literally now Bobby's number one thing. He wants to get that done. So hopefully next week we'll have all of that rocking and rolling. And I got more good news for you. As you guys know, we are rolling out Nectar Pay. I am one of the, I guess, hub cities now, and we are getting ready to beta test. What does that mean? That just means there are a handful of businesses that we are going to go live in and work out any issues that there may be with those vendors, and then we're going to roll out in full force. We'll have the first 1,200 machines hitting right when I get back from vacation. So that first week of August, we're going to be having machines hitting, but we're going to be ready to roll. I went to one place. And you know what? I didn't even do it. My sales rep did it. 10 minutes, done. And it was crazy what the owner told us. He said, I've been wondering when this was finally going to happen. That was literally what he said, right? Almost saying, well, it's about time. I'm kind of surprised it took this long. Yeah. Don't forget to forum, right? Get your funds in. I'll give you, you know what? I'll tell you what I'll do too. I'll give you an incentive for some Iskander today when we get back. Stay with us. 800-951-0592. So really quickly, today, if you want to take a shot with Iskander, again, remember, Texas coin, which you can't buy right now. We are extremely, you know what? The trial would start on August 17th. So today's July 17th. So we're a month away. Complete victory. That's what's the outcome's going to be. But having said that, we're on the drive to 5. And the assumption is where Texas coin goes, Iskander will follow. We want to be at $5 before October 7th, because that puts us in the top 100 cryptos in the world by coin market cap. By the way, things, guys, we're doing so much stuff. If you guys notice on CoinMarketCap, like they have our number of holders incorrect. They are showing how many hold our wrapped TXE coins. That problem is going to be fixed. Matter of fact, we are going to be 100%. We're already verified by CoinMarketCap, but we'll go to 100%. Which just means CoinMarketCap has access to all of our chain, everything, all the holders, all of those things will actually, believe it or not, climb in the rankings because they are underreporting our market cap. So we'll get a boost from that. That is happening as we speak. I don't know how long it takes them, but it was $75,000. That's what it cost, believe it or not, to do it. But like I said, we're doing it, and it's going to be just another shot where, listen, you know how legitimate we are? They have access to everything, and they'll tell you everything. So it's pretty awesome. Also, I am looking, I already have 2. I'm looking for 2 more sales reps in Phoenix for Nectar Pay. Have sales experience, guys. I'm going to be really, really picky. The base pay, $1,350 a week is the base. That equates to just over $70,000 with the potential to earn over $200,000 a year with Nectar Pay. If you are interested in that, and again, have experience, reach out to us at the 800 number, and we'll talk there. Colorado, I'll do the same thing. But, maybe it'll be one or two reps up that'll do northern Colorado. So I'm thinking like Greeley, Johnstown, Loveland, Fort Collins, right? That area, the area there in the Front Range. And again, have experience. We are dead serious about this. So today, if you want to buy 3 seats in Iskander, so they're $9.95 times 3, it's $28.95. They're going to give you 2 seats for free, and I'll throw in 100 Iskander coins. If we're right, Texas, $5 in October. Where's Iskander going to be? I don't know. Is it going to be at $3, $4? Heck, it may also be at $5. So think about this: at $3, if I'm right, and let's just say Texas goes to 5, Iskander goes to 3, with the 100 coins I give you, right? At $3 a pop, hey, there you go, right? Here's another $300, right? On top of getting 2 seats for free. It's a great opportunity. 800-951-0592. Same thing with Orem. You guys want to come into Orem, right? You call that same number. We'll get you set up. And already, it's crazy. I think I just had another person move up in my chain today. So exciting times all around. Let's take a quick look at the markets. The Dow is down. Off its lows, down about 115. Unfortunately, the S&P and the NASDAQ having a tougher time. The S&P down 64. The NASDAQ's down over 400 points. And it's really simple, guys. DeepSeek, remember China's DeepSeek? They have pulled even in this whole AI thing. We'll talk about that if we get to it today, but that is kind of sending the shockwaves through. Did we create another dot-com bubble with the AI bubble? Is it really that expensive, in these companies charging these fortunes? We'll see, but that's the issue today. The 10-year note, 453. Crude oil is up over 80, 81, Brent at 86. And I got a feeling, this is just a feeling, that Iran is like, that'll be kind of, last resort type where they go out, and because that will cripple everything, right? It'll cripple everything as far as oil goes. And we won't be able to make it up. Like, China can't cut enough oil to make up if Saudi Arabia goes offline. The other thing, I think, this is my thinking, maybe Saudi Arabia has the best capacity to attack Iran back. So they kind of are saying, we'll wait for you. And then the Houthis, are they going to close the strait where they're at? So we'll have to wait and see. Gold fell yesterday, up today. Right now up 37, 4,012. Silver's up 34 cents at 55.74. $20 gold pieces, 41.50. 41.50. And then U.S. silver, yesterday they were $12.95, and then silver closed at the bottom yesterday, $12.75. And I'll be honest, really at another 30 cents. It should be back to $12.95, but we'll stay $12.75 for U.S. Silver Eagles. 800-951-0592. Keep adding here to your portfolios. Couple of things to worry about besides the issues with, has China, I guess, moved even or possibly ahead in the AI race? Corporate selling. This is one of these things, and Jason follows this a lot. What are the executives doing? And this isn't, obviously, when you look at the Trump thing, even the guy that does Trump's teleprompter was trading ahead of things, right? These guys know before anybody else, I guess is my point. Executives selling shares at the fastest pace in more than 2 decades. You know when the last fastest pace was? Right before the financial crisis. Just saying. The second fastest pace. Listen to this, is insane. The first half of this year, $77.6 billion. What? That's just like an insane amount of money. A 20% increase from a year ago. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I guess this is worse than the financial crisis. The only time that it wasn't the worst, so this is the second biggest insider selling ever, happened to be COVID. And I don't even count COVID, right? So I don't know that really counts. Insider activity suggesting executives not eager to increase their exposures at current valuations. Yeah, you think? In contrast, stock buying by corporate insiders. So 77.6. So, round up 78 billion in selling, 6.9 billion in buying. So let's just say 78 billion in selling, 7 billion in buying. By the way, the lowest number in the last 7 years, so going back before COVID, was 6.7 billion of buying. So essentially almost record low buying on top of record low selling. And that's usually a really good indicator. And again, right, we know that's not a shock, right? We know it's bubble territory, but something to keep your eye on. And then very interesting, gold miners. Maybe the worst business ever, right? My uncle always used to say, a gold mine is a hole in the ground with a liar standing above it. Bank of America says that in their latest analysis, that gold mining now has become one of the most profitable sectors in the entire market. What? I'm wondering, is this just commodities? They don't really tell me. Because I can't believe, because the AI companies, their profit margins are stupid dumb. 60-something%. It's outrageous. Gold mine free cash flow, 10 times what it was in 2020. Long-term debt as a percentage of equity has been cut in half. Wow. That is pretty impressive. They're saying gold miners now yielding 12%. And they said, listen to this. The group trades at the cheapest level relative to the S&P 500 in over the last 20 years. And then Bank of America said something that, I don't know. I don't think anybody's surprised.
Yes, ma'am.
800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason will be here in a minute. He's got stuff going on. But a lot of talk to talk about. Kind of, the whole Iran thing. I keep hoping that cooler heads prevail here. We'll see what happens as gas prices are going back up. It looks like, I would say, probably the worst it's been since the war started, because now we're taking out bridges, power plants, right? Yeah, so let's just hope that cooler heads prevail, but Monday could be an interesting day. Having said that, we got more data out today. Housing starts. Now remember, wow, home sales were really bad, right? Surprisingly bad for June. U.S. housing starts exploded higher, up 19%. The biggest monthly increase in starts since 2023. However, building permits declined again. Well, what's going on? When you think about builder sentiment, confidence among U.S. home builders is at the lowest levels of the year. Well, I think you guys know where I'm going, right? Actual single-family home starts were down. Multi-family, I've seen some stupid numbers in my day, right? I've been doing this a long time. Up 76.3%. I mean, it almost defies logic, but yet it doesn't. Right? When we think about where the future of America lies for the majority of Americans. Because let's face it, guys, let's think about this rationally here. Population growth in the United States is slowing, right? Yes, we're still growing, but very slowly. Where are these people going to live? And the answer is very simple. You're going to live in an apartment. And if you don't live in an apartment, you're going to be living in a home that you're renting from a Wall Street institution. And you know what will be the rarity? The rarity is going to be, I'm a home buyer. I have a mortgage. You know, it used to be 30% of the country rented. And it was 40% of the country is renting. We're on our way to well over half of the country, Jason, being renters. And it's just, when you see stuff like that, you just kind of scratch your head and essentially saying, yeah, we're really not building single-family homes. We're just going to build apartments.
Mostly what I observe as well, you know, you build the big, ultra super big Walmart, Target, whatever center, and then you populate the entire area, square mile of 24-plex apartment buildings. Very developed, very purposeful. It looks to me, Joe. Every time you see it, and I think you've seen a lot of that in Arizona. And here's the thing: if people could afford the homes, they would be buying the homes. And if they can't afford the homes, they're going to rent. And if you're lucky, you can get into one of these old 24-plex buildings that are, I don't know, a couple decades old. Maybe they'll turn that apartment into a townhome, and you can buy it. And maybe that'll only be $200,000 for one of those one-bedroom apartments that is now called a townhome.
Yes, right? Yes, now called a townhome. Yes.
Yeah, it's always a townhome when you buy it, but it's an apartment if you're renting. You know, the speech there, and then to hide the cost of living. Joe, I served a lot of papers at those 24-plex buildings. You know, people had having tough luck with their money situation, and I don't know how much is one of those boxes. How much would one of those boxes sell for? I haven't really seen the listings on that. I'm thinking $250,000 for a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment.
Yeah, and that's relative. You're looking in Scottsdale. Yeah, you're light there at 250, right? You're talking 350, 400. Some of these
30-year mortgage on a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, it's insane. But it is a very good indicator. So 2 things what we saw in today's data. Record selling from insiders. And it's crazy to think $78 billion in 6 months. How much stock did these guys get? Right? It's insane. Almost just missed record lows of insider buying. Right? They didn't even get to $7 billion. Right? So more than 90% selling to buying from insiders. What does that tell you? Then on top of that, Jason and I have been talking about, is there a big slowdown like underneath the surface? Somebody actually reported on China, and that they have made up over half of the oil shortfall with less imports. And it's a staggering an amount that you just can't explain, right? Not only, well, if you weren't filling up your strategic reserve, well, maybe that would be 20% of the, of the amount of less oil available. But it's 50. It's huge. Which says, something else is wrong. And then you look at what the corporates here in the U.S. are doing. You looked at how terrible home sales, and I'm talking about existing home sales and new home sales. And then, by the way, we're going to build a bunch of apartments. I don't know. I mean, are they trying to... they know where stuff is going. There's a reason why they're doing it. I even saw, short selling is back. Yeah.
Adjustable rate mortgages.
Yeah, probably, right? Remember, because the last 3-4 years, people did that thinking rates were going. Heck, we've been saying, God, rates should go down, and they did. Listen, they've lowered the rates, but the rates have gone up. Right? Yeah, maybe. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour on this Friday, right? Friday, baby! Let's hope for more rain in the Valley of the Sun today, tomorrow, like every day. How's that? Where do I want to go? You know what? Let's go here first. So, Glenn in Maryland had just sent me a text. Gas is $4 there. And, a huge jump. Just like overnight. Gas prices, Glenn said it jumped 60 cents there. We went from $3.65 to $4.19 overnight. But, my mom lives, you guys know, and my mom's in Syracuse. My son is in Manhattan. And, man, those Canadian fires, it is crazy what it's doing to the air quality all over the eastern seaboard. I mean, it looks like it's the middle of the day, and it looks almost, like it's dark out. And my mom's like, you smell it, you taste it, right? My son, because he lives in Manhattan, he doesn't have a car. They walk everywhere, right? He's like, yeah, it's horrible. He's like, yeah, I'm wearing my glasses, not wearing my contacts because it just burns your eyes. The president, he slapped new tariffs on Brazil. And now, last night, he was talking about, you know what? I'm thinking about slapping some tariffs on Canada because they're doing a bad job managing their forests. Yes, it's I don't know. Forest fires now. If we got to deal with your smoke, you're gonna have to pay. Everyone's got to pay. Guys, I know it sounds good. It does. Right? We have the same complaint here, don't we? Hey, I got a novel idea. How about we go back to thinning the forest and cutting the grass? I don't know. Call me crazy. Right? Call me crazy. How about that? Maybe do a little bit of, we just cut this stuff down once in a while. Maybe, the Palisades wouldn't have burnt to the ground. I don't know. Yeah. Well, get ready for everything to cost more. So now listen, here's the funny thing. We had two good inflation reports, right? Remember, CPI, PPI, right? Well, it ended today. Import prices unexpectedly rose in the month of June, with goods from China rising by the largest monthly levels in more than 18 years. Import prices up 0.3% for the month, as a drop in energy was more than offset by increases everywhere else. Uh-oh. Maybe the inflation isn't going to go away, especially now that, energy prices are kind of going the wrong way. On an annual basis, import prices are up 7.1% year over year. Where's Kevin Warsh? Kevin, we need a task force. We need a task force. That number's way too high. Can you fix it, please? By the way, the biggest move since COVID. The funny part was they were looking for an 0.8% decline. They are saying that artificial intelligence build-out could be hitting prices as costs for computers and semiconductors, pretty much anything computer, was up significantly, a 12.6 jump in May. China also played a role. Import prices from China up 0.9%, the biggest monthly move since January of 2008. It's the largest yearly gain for goods from China going back to COVID. Yeah, wow. That is not great. Export prices up 7.4%. I'm sorry, export prices to China, were also up 7.4%. So at least if you're in the import-export business, things are costing a whole lot more. So we'll see if that trickles down into everything else we're buying. They are now saying, right on cue, they must be listening. I'm not kidding. Headline: toxic wildfire smoke from Canada begins to disrupt economic activity as GOP senators readies a Canadian sanctions bill. Well, there you go. I don't know what to say.
People are
very
people
unhealthy.
Are lost in space, Joe. They're just lost. People are lost.
What?
This urge to have to do something. I don't know what these people think. I got to do something. I got to do something. As soon as the guy who panics and runs to the fire is the guy that actually gets burned, right? Why don't you stop? Why don't these people just stop and think for a little? If they'd stop and think a little bit, maybe we wouldn't have so many airheaded idiots that are running the country. Maybe a few people would stand up to this central bank that is spread throughout the planet, Joe.
Well, I'm just seeing, apparently these amusement parks all over the eastern seaboard are closing today. They're closed. Yeah.
Plastic smoke. Come on, man. It's just a little plastic smoke.
I don't know.
Give Can't be any worse when they're dumping in the water to give us COVID. I mean, come on.
I will say this. Well, they showed this map. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but it's like all of Canada's on fire, apparently. I don't know.
The 51st state needs to be mowed and ready to be built.
800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Final segment here again. $20 gold pieces, $41.50. Gold's now up $42. $4,020. I'm sorry, $43. $4,022. Silver's up 63 cents, $56.03. So $20 gold pieces on sale today, $41.50. What is that? $130 over. U.S. Silver Eagles all the way down to $1,275 at 800-951-0592. Very quickly on this Canada thing, right? They don't know how all the fires started, but they definitely believe some of them were started by eco-terrorists. Everything's a terrorist now. But having said that, here's the situation. If you spend a full day outdoors in Washington, D.C. or New York City, now I don't know who does that, right? I guess some people spend the whole day outside. But if you did, this is how bad this is that we're shutting down the economy, apparently, and getting ready to put sanctions on China or on Canada. See, look at that. On Canada, it's the equivalent of smoking roughly 10 cigarettes. That is the damage that they say would be done. I just laugh because I remember, when I first started, it was Jim, right? Sarah's dad. Eric, Sarah's uncle, me, and at the time, Eric and Jim were big smokers. Now, Eric eventually quit, which was great, but they'd smoke 10 cigarettes in a show. I mean, they used to just be smoking and I'm sitting there. It's like a fog in the studio, But I guess apparently, Jason, that's too much. 10 cigarettes too much.
Choose smokes, not dope, right?
Right.
Cigarella says that, right? Cigarella says.
Oh man. Let's just say the Colorado radio station plays some very humorous commercials, to say the very least. So, yes. So now, you know what? I'm thinking, was lumber getting cheap? I don't know. I haven't been.
Remember lumber during COVID? Remember that? Remember we started.
Oh my gosh! It was like $1 quadrillion.
People were getting ready to buy a warehouse so they can store lumber instead of gold, right?
Right. Well, I think they took care of that problem. Whoops. All the lumber burnt to the ground. I don't know.
Well, there's going to be less lumber in Canada, apparently.
Yeah, well, that's where we get our lumber, I guess.
Well, that's very inflative, Joe. I guess that's a part of the course.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we keep on, do a few more of those, and they'll have what they want. Pretty soon the toilet paper will be missing at the Walmart.
Well, I just checked in. If you wanted to know, the traffic on the Strait of Hormuz at a 3-week low today. 8 ships made it through today. So
paid the toll.
Yes, they paid the toll.
Paid the bridge troll.
Don't bomb us!